Hello and welcome back to our video series on SMF, or otherwise known as Simple Machines Form. Now in this video we're going to go through the manual installation process, and in the prior video we went through the simple installation process where we installed it via our cPanel control panel. And that version that is available to us through that cPanel control panel may not be the most up-to-date version, and that's where the manual installation knowledge might come in handy for you. So let's head on over to our SMF download page and either go to this URL right here, and we come on down a little bit, and the most up-to-date version is usually going to be the one right up at top, and the one I'm going to be installing today is this one, and it's the 2.0. It's got a few more bells and whistles than the 1.1.8, and if you recall, the one that we installed through our cPanel control panel was 1.1.7. So again, this is another reason why knowing how to manually install this software is going to come in real handy. So let's head on down here to the 2.0. And the difference between these three file types is basically compression. They all three contain the same information, and if you do not have a special compression software, for example, like 7-Zip or ZipGenius, then just go ahead and download this guy right here. Otherwise, these, especially if they're larger files, which these are not, they're pretty dinky anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and download this one here. And just for the sake of this video, if they're all three contain the same stuff, and if you're not sure, then just download this one here and unzip it as you normally would using your built-in default zip software. Now I've already downloaded it to my desktop, and on my desktop I've created a folder for that particular domain that we're going to be working with called My Demonstration Site. And inside of this I've got a few different folders. This one's for forum, got another one for blog, and this is just an idea you might want to consider using yourself as an organizational method. I also have an FTP login text file, so that in the event I want to upload anything to my site, my domain site, I will have the FTP login info here just in case I forget it. So this is information you get from your web hosting company, and they may have already sent it to you. It's just a matter of where the heck did you put it. So maybe check out that email, and if you don't have it, because you're going to need that here in just a second whenever we go to upload these files to your server. So dig that up, and if you don't have a folder similar to this, then you might want to go ahead and start a structure similar to this so you've got things organized. So we'll open this back up again. Here is our files we're going to be uploading. Let's go ahead and upload this to our server. And I'm going to be using FileZilla as the FTP client, and we simply enter the information you have from your web hosting company here, the host name, the username, and the password, and the port is going to be 21. 99% of the time it's going to be 21. And using FileZilla you have two different ways in which you can connect. One, this one, and that's the Quick Connect, and two, you come up here to File, go to Site Manager, and load the information in here. The same information as you would have up at the top here in your Quick Connect. That'd be the host name. And a lot of times this may start with ftp.yourdomainname.com. And again, to the port would be 21. And then the server type is typically FTP unless you have some other means you're going to be uploading. But we're going to be, for the sake of this video, going to be using FTP. The login type, I'm going to go with normal as I do most of the time. There are times in which you want to use anonymous or ask for password or these other ones, but we're going with normal. Under user, put in the username and the password. Again, these are items that are provided to you by your web hosting company. Then you simply click on connect. And once you're connected, this on the right side over here is the web server, the internet, and this on the left side is your computer. Again, this is the local site, and this is the remote site. Now here, we want to create a directory or a folder, if you will, so we can upload our stuff into. And if yours has a public underscore HTML, then that's where you want to go. If it does not, if your server does not have a public underscore HTML, it might have something like htdocs or www or nothing at all. In which case, you simply right click and go here to create directory and create your own folder. Now we're going to do that here in just a second, but we want to first go to public underscore HTML, and you see I've already got a couple of forms in here already, but I want to put in another one, and I'm going to call it what are we going to call it? FORUMZ. And to do that, we're going to create directory and give us a spot here for new folder and FO and this is where we're going to upload our files to. So to get to our forum, once we have everything installed and it's working properly, it will be my demonstration http colon / mydemonstrationsite.com /FORUMZ / and that will be our URL to our forum. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we will then come over here to our files, open that up, and all of these files here are what we need to upload to our newly created directory, our newly created folder. So we're going to just select one of them in here, and then if we hold the control key down on our keyboard and hit the letter A as in apple, it will select all of them. Okay? And you want to just make sure this top guy here with the dots, that is not selected. Now then all we do is click our left mouse button, hold it down, and drag these on over, or right click and then left click on upload. As you can see here, we've got almost 1,500 files that need to be uploaded, so this is going to be a little bit of time here. With the magic of video editing, it will only be a second though. I'll be right back. See, told you it'll only take a second, but in real life though it was about 10 minutes, so just be wary of that time frame. Anyway, now we need to enter into our browser the install URL, which is, where are we at here? Install PHP, because usually it's either going to be install or setup, something to that effect, but this is what we want right here. So let's go ahead and disconnect from our server. Go up here to server, click on, or left click on disconnect, and we're done with FileZilla, so we can get rid of that. And let's head on up to our browser, and we don't need the download page anymore, so right here we're just going to put in the URL, which is mydemonstrationsite.com /FORUMZ, because that's the folder we installed all of our files into, /install.php. And then just hit enter. Now this is where we're at once everything is installed correctly. Now then over here we have the steps we're going to go through here, and at this point we simply click on continue. And now then we need to change the permissions of these files here. A couple of ways you can do that. You can do this manually, which is how we're going to do it, or you just simply put in the FTP information that you just put into your FileZilla, username, password, and the port, and then you click on connect. What we're going to do is we're going to do this manually. We've got these files here we need to change to 777. Now some servers, some web hosting companies do not allow 777 attributes, in which case you would need to make them 755. So let's head on over to our FileZilla again, and let me see where our folders are at. Attachments, avatars, cache, packages. Attachment, avatar, cache, packages. So all of these need to be changed to 777, as well as a file inside of packages, smileys, and themes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick here. And how we do that, using FileZilla, you right click on the folder, come down here to file attributes. Now, depending upon what FTP client you're using, it might say properties. Then left click, and we simply change this to 777, or our goal here is we want them to be writable. So we just click on these, or we can change them manually here. Either way. Same with avatars. Same with cache. And you see by putting those in there, it ticks those boxes automatically. Then I'll go ahead and do this one. Now we need to do this file here, which is located inside of this folder. So let's head on over to that folder, packages, double click to open it up, and here it is right here, right click. Now this one here is not a folder, it's a file. So we still need to just do the writes, just tick those boxes, and it changes the number itself. And then we double click on this to go back one. And what else we need to change? Smileys, themes, and agreement text. smileys. Nothing to do with sources, leave that alone. Right click on themes. Agreement text. And again, with this one, it's not a folder, it's a file. So again, we're just dealing with the writables. And what else we got here? Settings.php, settings underscore BAK, and htaccess. So these two, and then the htaccess up at the top. Right click, file attributes. And back up to our htaccess. Right click, file attributes. Now that we have all these done manually, and again you could do it automatically by putting the information in here, and then click here, and everything's done. We've finished up that. We're on to the step 3, and here we want to do the database server settings. Now then, this information here is bogus basically because we have not yet created the database to put this information in here. These are kind of like placeholders. So let's go ahead and head on back to our cPanel here. And again, yours may not look just like mine, but the gist of it's the same. Come on down here, and we want to get into the MySQL database. Let's click on that. Create a new database, and I'm going to go with SMF. You can name it whatever you want. Click on Create, and here it is. Now, I've got a file, and whenever we copy this, we don't want that period at the end. So right click. I'm just copying this. And go back to our folder here in our database info, database name, and for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to have the username created the same. It's going to be the same name. Now what it is if you recall, I only named it SMF. The cPanel or the MySQL automatically appends it with this. This is the prefix, if you will, for your database name, and it'll be the same for the username too. Here, I'll show you. Come on back here. Now we click on Go Back. We need to create a user for that database as well. So we come on back here. As we can see right here is our database, but there's no users in there yet. User, we just want SMF. Password, I usually just have it generate one here, and that looks good because it's strong. You can adjust it any way you want here. I'm going to use the one they gave me. Be sure you copy this. Right click, copy. Go back to our folder here, paste that in our password, and by the way, this is the username as well. We'll see that here in just a second. And then close that out, create user, and here's our user and the password. Now right here, the user, it does not give you the prefix, but trust me, it is. The full prefix underscore SMF is the username, and here's the password. And again, if you haven't copied this and pasted this somewhere to save it, do so now, because you will not get this opportunity again. Then click on Go Back. Now we need to assign that user to that database. We do so right down here. We're almost at the bottom of the page here. The user, that's the one. The database, that's the one, and we click on Add. Now then, depending upon what version of cPanel Control Panel you have, in the earlier versions, I believe it's version 10, because this is version 11, all this would be on the same page where we just created it, and it wouldn't bring you to a separate page. But in either case, so you want to assign all privileges. So you check this box here, make changes, and now then that user has been, the user here, has been added to the database name here with all privileges assigned. That's the way we want it. Now then, that database is created. We need to head on back over to our installer. And the local host, 99% of the time, this is the name of your server. And I know that 1&1, the web host company called 1&1.com, this is not the case. It's something else. And if you're not sure where to find it, then just contact the folks at the support, and they'll be able to give that info to you. So let's go ahead and copy that information from our database information here that we just created. This is the database name. Make sure you put it in the right spot. Database name right here. And don't forget you have to have the prefix in there as well. And the username is the same as our database name. And the password is this gibberish here. And whenever you copy this over, do not put any extra spaces in there on the ends, okay, at the beginning or at the end. And then the password, right click and paste. And the table prefix, just leave that alone. Continue. That's my robo form there. Don't leave home without it. And the form settings, we're going to do here, just make a couple of changes. You don't have to change the form name here if you don't want to. You can change it within the form later on, but I'm going to go ahead and change it now, just so that we know that there is a difference between the one that I had showed you at the beginning of the video and this one. This one, the one at the beginning of the video, this one here, is named My Community. The one we're going to create here is called My New Community. You can name it whatever you want. This is the URL to our forum. And the gzip output, we're going to go ahead and leave that checked. The database sessions, leave that checked. The UTF character set, I would go ahead and check this. This has to do with the characters and so far as dealing with foreign languages and whatnot. So I would go ahead and check that. This can be useful when working with multiple languages that use different character sets. So yeah, check that one. And allow stack collection. If you're kind of paranoid of Big Brother and you don't want the website simplemachines.org to come to your site and collect information, totally harmless by the way, then don't check this. If you want them to, then check it. And if you want some more details on what I'm talking about here, you can click on this link and it'll take you there. Now then, click on continue. We're almost there, folks. Database population. Nothing to do here except click on continue. And here we want to create our account. Now, what I've done here in our folder is form admin info is I've created username and password. So the username I'm going to use, just copy that. Whoops, I deleted it. I need to copy that. Come on back over here. And if you leave it as admin, well, most everybody and their grandmother have their username as admin. So if you're trying to thwart those thieves and hackers, then you might want to change it from what everybody else is using. You know, just my 2 cents worth there. And then the password, not that I'm paranoid, but those people are following me. And I just simply copy this, just arbitrary letters and numbers, you know, that I'm that I created here, and that I will be pasting right here. And do so again. And whatever email address you want to put in here, and I created one for the prior video, Gmail account for my demonstration site at gmail.com, and that's what I'm going to use. And the database password, our MySQL database that we have put up here in the database settings, that's what they're asking for here. So we go back here, right click, copy, come back here, right click, and paste. Continue. That should just about do things for us. 100% done. Congratulations, install process is complete. And if you got any questions or problems, if you did not get to this page because a big red flashing sign saying error popped up somewhere, then you can always more than likely get the answer to that error question at the simplemachines.org website. Well, let's go ahead and check out our form real quick here. Oh, yeah, one last thing to take care of. But as you can see here, this is our newly created community. This is the, instead of it saying admin, which would have been the case, this is the name that I gave it. And of course, this can be changed, that can be changed. And what we need to do now is eliminate this by deleting the install.php. So let's go back to our FTP client, install.php, just select that and either hit the delete key on your keyboard or right click and left click on delete. Are you sure? Yes. Come on back here, hit the refresh button, and boom, we are good to go, folks. And that is how you manually install your SMF form software. Hope you learned something. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.